What it do? That is a good question. What does it do? Groundhog. Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. What does that mean? Well, there was a movie, and I'm not sure what year it came out, but let's just let's say over 10 years ago. And if I can recall this movie, the movie was about a guy who wakes up one day and goes about his normal routine. He wakes up, he gets ready, maybe has some coffee, leaves himself, does his daily hygiene, and goes about his day. Goes about his day. And what he discovers is, as the week goes on, he repeats the same day as the week goes on. He repeats the same day. He starts to notice that the pattern as the week goes on is the same thing every day. And that basically led him to realize that the same things were happening every day. Seeing the same people, they were saying the same things to him every day. And he started to say, hey, hold on. He started to predict, hey, what's going on? He started to predict what every person that he came in contact with during the day, before they would say something, he would know what they were going to say. And he's saying, hold on, this cannot be a coincidence. He started to see the same cars go by as he walked. Everything was the same day by day. And he started to say, hold on, I got to get out of this. This is crazy. This is crazy. I appreciate all the likes. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. That really happens. That happens. Yes, it does. That happens in our life. Maybe not to the extremes of the movie. And again, go check out the movie. It's an old movie. It's a classic. But we are literally living Groundhog Day every day, going about our same routines. Very little variations occur once we're on this routine of day by day. And I've been watching particular YouTube videos of people that decided to shake things up. Shake things up, but shake it up in a responsible way. They shook things up by deciding to move to another country. They shook things up by deciding to move to another state. They shook things up by deciding to try something different, something new, something that they never tried before. And this is what we got to do to get out of this Groundhog Day existence, this Groundhog Day reality that a majority of us are living in. And I can only speak for myself. When it was a period in my life where I was living in a way to shake things up, not to just have this constant routine, right? And so how was I doing that? Like, let's say I'm traveling, let's say during the week, right? I'm working, right? And this was a time where I had more freedom. Uh, I was self-employed, so I had my own thing going on. But let's say I had a good week. I had a good week, and I might say, you know what? I'm gonna take a drive somewhere. And I don't know where I would go. I wouldn't plan it. I would just say, I'm gonna drive, let's say 2, 3, more than 5 hours away from here. And I'm gonna go towards the south, south of California. Or maybe I might go further than that, right? I might go across the border. But I would do these things just to shake up the routine. Something as small as that, just taking a drive somewhere, taking a drive an hour away outside of your town, right? Don't just do, like, if you have the ability, or a train ride. Like, I would do things like that, right? I remember I worked as a security guard at this hotel, and every week the Amtrak staff came in because that was the end of their route. And their route was from Oakland, where I was at, to Chicago. And I met this guy, right? And he said, we became on a accord with each other, right? So we were talking. He came down from his room, to sit in the lounge area. We just started talking, and he told me about his route. Every week, that they end their route here, and he's been doing that for, like, let's say he's been working for Amtrak for like 20 years, right? And he was the guy that basically was assigned to one of the private cars. And he would basically, take care of the people that had a room in the private car. And anyway, long story short, he was like, hey, I started talking to him about, hey, I would love, that seems like that would be nice, man. I would like to do something like that, like rent one of those private cars and just take a ride on the train from West Coast to the East Coast. And he says, oh, are you serious? I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. And this is what he said. He said, okay, I don't know how I pulled this off because I had a job. I had a 9 to 5, but I think I took a week off or whatever, or I timed it right. But basically, he said, okay, if you want to come, show up at this location in Emeryville, 'cause that's where the train, I think it's called the California something. I forgot the name of that particular train that goes from the Bay Area to the Midwest. He said, show up, I will get you on the train. I will get you your own room. But you got to show up at this time. That's like 6 in the morning. If you don't show up, you'll miss out. I went home that night, right? Damn, I didn't even get no sleep because I worked like the night shift. I'm like, damn, I only got, like, if I go, I'm only gonna get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. But I'm like, man, what the hell are you talking about, bro? He just said that if you go, you get in your own room, so you'll be able to sleep. So I said, F it. I packed my bags, and I was there that morning, and I was like, let's see if this guy's about his word. And sure enough, he was about his word. You see me standing there, he got off the train, and his Amtrak clothes, he like, waved me like, come on, hurry up. And I got on that train, bro. I got on that train, And I told him the day before, I said, I want to go from the Bay Area all the way to New York. That's what I wanted to do on a train. And I did that shit, bro. We got to Chicago. I had my own private car, bro. It's such a lovely experience. If you guys ever get a chance, just try this. Like, you don't have to go right now to another country, but get on an Amtrak train, get you a private car, save up. I think it's about 1,000, a little bit over 1,000, and catch it and ride it from wherever you're from. If you in California, go from the West Coast to the East Coast. Such the scenery, so beautiful. You wouldn't believe how beautiful this country could. This country is beautiful, man. It's a lot of United States has a lot of beautiful lands that you don't get to experience living in the city, but you get to go all the way from to the mountains of Colorado. You get to see the Colorado River. Oh, it's such scenic. It's peaceful. You get some time to think. You get some time to reflect on your life. Bring you some books. Try to cut off social media, and you just take that time. Are limited. Limited. You know what I'm saying? But take that time to be to yourself and think and contemplate, plan. Bring a journal, meditate. You know, uh, get some books, and that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I brought some books, and I just read, I meditated, I rested. Every stop, because every time there's a stop, I got off the train, I walked around, looked at this, the city, what I'm saying? And it was a beautiful experience, man. It was a real beautiful experience that I will always remember. Uh, Had a private shower. Man, I'm telling you, don't ride coach. Do not do, if you're going from particularly people in California or the West Coast, you're going from the West Coast to the East Coast, make sure you do the private train, man. But that's an example how I just shook things up, and I've kind of always done that throughout my life. I tried not to live this groundhog existence by just doing things like that. I don't know. Nobody ever told me to do that, right? But it was always like I need to do something to shake up this monotony of life, because life can become monotonous if you're not doing things, right? If you're not doing something to shake it up. I got a friend, I had to talk to him, right? And he lived like that. And I couldn't understand, like every day, work, home, the same route, work, home, not shaking it up. And I don't know if it was my influence, but that guy, he started to go like to concerts. Something simple like something simple as that. He started to like go to concerts. You know what I'm saying? And we got to do that to shake things up, man, because life can become groundhog, man. It really can. You know, we try not to, we have to try not to allow it to do that. Try something new. Once you take that trip, get your passport. I always advocate getting your passport, man. And I got a book coming out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a book. I worked on a book at one of my trips. I don't know. I just sat down, right? And when I was traveling a lot, I had some guys, some friends on social media, on Facebook, because I would go to these different places, go to these different countries, and I would record my experience. And one of the guys that was following me, he's like, "Man, you need to write a book, bro." I'm like, "A book?" He's like, "Yeah, you should just write a book about your experience." And I said, "You know what?" Well, I thought about it. I'm like, "Man, I'm not, I like to read, but I never, and I'll write in my journal, but I never like sat down and structured a book." So one day I was in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. That's like an hour from Cancun. And I'm in my Airbnb with my laptop, and I'm sitting on this. I got this nice, beautiful Airbnb, and I'm sitting on the deck. And I had my laptop open. I just started writing. I just started typing. But then I'm like, I don't want to type it, right? So I took a notebook. I just started writing. I was like, I don't want to type yet. So I started writing on the notebook, and that notebook turned into an idea. It was just like brainstorming, but it turned into an idea of a memoir with a guide to, or a self, like a guide, a how to. And like 3 or 4 years later, I've been sitting on it, but I'm like, hey, I I, I watched this motivational speech by Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe, also Les Brown. But he had a quote. He said, the most richest place is not the bank or not these financial institutions. The most richest place is the graveyard. Why? Because in the graveyard is all the hopes, the dreams, books that were never written, ideas that never came to fruition. They're all buried with those individuals, and it would never have that would never have the chance to see the light of the day. But those people died with those books that they wanted to write, those ideas that they wanted to bring to fruition. So what he says is like, if you have an idea or whatever you want to do, just do it. It don't matter if you're going to have a big crowd of people that's going to embrace it. You may have an idea and only one person embrace it. You may write a book and only 10 people got buy it or purchase it or whatever. Or you may speak and only a few people come to your speech, but at least you know that you did it. And that's the most important thing. Don't go to the graveyard with your ideas and with your goals. Let it all out here, man. Just die empty. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to do, get it out. That way, when you take your last breath, you ain't got no regrets. You did everything. You like, yeah. So I said, you know what? I can't sit on this book no more. I need to go ahead and just do this because I would hate, because we don't know. Nobody knows. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So I said, no, now's the time. I don't care if it's, because you always have doubts. Oh, what if it sounds stupid, or what if it's not intelligent enough? I said, F that. I don't care. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna self-publish it, and that's coming, y'all. That's coming. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, try to make your days not groundhog. That's the goal. Watch the movie if you haven't watched the movie. I want to thank all y'all for tapping in. Like, share, and subscribe. I will holler at y'all later. Peace.